Hello everyone, it's me, Juanan, better known as DrZaius, and today I'm bringing you a new deck profile. This time I'm actually quite happy because I just won last Sunday the French from Lille Kurhinotama shop, Digi-Fest, with blue hybrids. First of all, this event was by webcam, so it was quite hard in comparison to physical events because yes, you know, you need to take some extra work on communication and make all your moves clear. And yeah, you know that this is always a challenge. Well, this time I decided to go for the blue deck for main three reasons. First one being that it has gained a lot of success recently in most Digifest events. Second one being that it is pretty consistent, and the third one being that I think of my options that were yellow hybrids, green hybrids, and then blue. Uh, I thought that with the new rules, Mulligan and side deck, it was the best option in terms of consistency and explosiveness. This is because this deck is mainly a Rookie Rush based deck with some hybrids and a lot of tricks in terms of good option cards, good finishers, and so on. The second best option was green, but I found in playtesting that green was uh, vastly worse than blue, especially against purple decks and aggressive decks playing Iceman and Scatter mode. So this is it. Well, let's go to the deck profile. First of all, as I told you, the main strategy is to uh, play on a rookie rush. So I always want to go first. I always want to strike first. So for copies of Strymon, this card is insane this format, especially in this deck, as basically it can search around 70% of your complete deck, which is insane. Um, Sadly, most times I needed to just evolve with him in the breeding area, losing a lot of tempo, but otherwise this is the best rookie in the format, probably the best in the deck. Followed by Modoki Vitaman, which was the MVP of the tournament because um, I had uh, a lot of rounds against hybrid blue, so Modoki was the MVP in all those matches because I wasn't eating the effect of having a spark in security when I was about to attack. Followed by a full playset of Sayakomon. The main reason to play the full playset is because green has really good tools to just outplay you, just like Argomon from BT5, just like the entire Digi mechanic. I didn't want to lose so hard against green, and especially against the Argomon play, you need to be really aware and save some rookies in your hand because once your tamers are suspended, you need to save one tamer and one rookie to start the aggression. You also need to always have something in the breeding area just to attack for game. Well, these are the main blue rookies, and I played 15 rookies with 3 copies of Pokemon. I decided to run Pokemon for extra consistency, but this card uh, was the worst of the entire deck until a point that I was always siding out copies of Pokemon. This is because the only thing he does is having one Modoki Vitamon in front of him or any memory blocker, or maybe just he the only reason he had on the field was to enable the memory gain of Sora and Joe in my opponent's side. So Pokemon was really poor, and I don't recommend anyone to play this. I could have played any other blue rookie, maybe two cost rookie, just to keep memory choking the opponents. Well, and next one, the hybrids. We have a lot of them. Of course, we have full playset of Kumamon, which is the base one. the most basic one. Then full playset of Kurhinotama, which is the what gives the deck such a strength because it freezes always the opponent's monsters over a Tommy or maybe over a Kumamon or even Stravimon. He always freezes, and that's so good. Especially because the deck is basically based on resolving this effect. Finally, one copy of Kendo Garurumon. I was expecting a lot of blue, and this was a clear option to me. And finally, the level 5 hybrid, which is Beowulfmon. Beowulfmon is just insane. You can evolve for one cost over any hybrid that has a timer underneath, then attack, and then you can just grab your hybrid back to your hand to bounce any Digimon, which is level 4 or lower. And the format consists basically in 80% of this kind of Digimon, so having an extra hybrid out of nowhere with Beowulfmon is just a win condition by itself, because you can just go hybrid, go Beowulf, attack, you have one attack, effect, one bounce, and then you can just go hybrid again and attack for game. So Beowulf is pretty absurd in these terms. Okay, one cool thing is that you can just create a Beowulf in your breeding area with Stravimon underneath, and then you have tons of value because you are just drawing, grabbing back your Stravimon, and then playing again to get some Tamers and some hybrids. So, as you can see, Beowulf is pretty absurd. Finally, the last Digimon in the main deck was a level 6 Azulomon. And well, why just one? Honestly, this card is not necessary, and in fact, you don't need any high level Digimon outside Beowulfmon, because the engine of the deck is so good just by playing the options for defense, the tamers for memory, the hybrids, the rookies. That is all you need to win a game. But I decided to go with a Sulokmon because in playtesting it wasn't bad, especially against Yellow Hybrid. It was pretty good. I had some moments in the Blue Mirror match because let's say we are in the middle game or in the late game. Most Digimons are frozen because of the effects of your opponents or yours, and then you need to attack somehow. If you haven't dealt enough damage, you cannot just win the game. So if you go as Solomon, because you will have the memory with your tamers, you go as Solomon and attack to blow up the entire security, and then any random hybrid in your hand or a rookie in the breeding area can just finish the game. And this was the modus operandi of this card, and it was pretty decent. Even I could say I could play the second copy in the main deck. And let's go for the tamers. 3 copies of Davis. It was the best of them, as usual. 3 copies of Soranjo, and the reason because I am not playing the 4th copy is because I was assuming that my opponent is clever enough to just nullify this effect. So I would rather to play this one, Matt, the 2-cost Matt, because I was between playing 2-cost rookies or just Matt, because it is a better option. It is a tamer, it gives you memory, and that's it. It does a lot of more things in the security than a rookie will do. And of course, the full playset of Tommy. Honestly, this is the worst tamer, but it's quite handy when you have it and you can do the play. But it is another thing I should do. Another thing I was doing during the entire tournament was to side out 1 copy of Tommy, and the deck was pretty solid with that configuration. Alright, and well, finally we have the options, and this is the most tricky part because we are playing, of course, triple Howling Memory Boost, pretty self-explanatory. This is one of the best blue cards right now in the game. Ice Wall, self-explanatory. 1 Forbidden Trident. Trident is so good that this is even scary. This card has won me each game when I have this in the hand or hidden security. So, well, the main reason it is to play this card is because of the mirror match. The mirror match often forces you to attack a 6k DP Digimon with your own in order to survive. This card lets you not only kill the Digimon, but to even bounce an additional level 3, like a Modoki Bitamon or something like that, and lets you win any battle of Digimons in the mirror match. So this card was insane. And finally, the full playset of Hammer's pack. This was something I could change. I could have taken out one copy for maybe the second Azulomon because, as I told you, I had lots of blue hybrid mirror matches. So this card was useless in security and useless in hand because there was always a Modoki Bitamon on the field. So I think Hammer's pack should be good or even sided out most times. Because if your opponent is not playing the full playset of Modoki, he could do it after the side deck, so it keeps being a really poor card. Well, this is everything for the main deck. Let's now go to the Digitamas and the side deck. Digitamas are simple, a full playset of Kiaromon and one copy of Upamon. And I need to say something here. I will have invert the ratios to 4 Upamon and 1 Kiaro because I just ran Kiaromon because my friends told me that it gave a lot of more draw power than Upamon, but my playstyle in the mirror match could have been more compatible with Upamon because well, later I will explain what I do, but basically I go wide on attacking in the early game and getting resources just to finish the game later. And this is because in the early game I attack with all the rookies I can to take out 2 or 3 securities from my opponent, and then in the mid game and the late game the Digimons will be frozen always, and you will not be able to attack except with any hybrid or a rookie from security. I want to have my opponent with 2 or less securities as soon as possible and then just finish the game later. They tend to be conservative, but I don't think that this deck has the chance to be conservative in this way, because most decks can just win you by being more aggressive or just have some rush style, or maybe go wide with maybe security plus 1 effects, red hybrids, Jesmon, yellow hybrids. I don't think you have time enough this format to be so conservative, and that's it. Well, let's go for the side deck, but before talking about it, let me show you all the only cards I use, because as I told you, most of my tournament were mirror matches and these 4 cards. That's it. The rest of the side deck was completely useless. But these 4 cards were the only ones I used against the mirror match, and I was always taking out 1 Tommy, 1 Hammers pack, 1 Bokomon, and the other card was 1 Memory Boost. Maybe because Tommy was really poor in the mirror, because you were only taking 1 material and Kumamon does already this job. Hammer's pack, as I told you, Modoki, if he's not playing the full playset in the main deck, he will side more copies. So, useless. Bokomon, the same, worst card. This is the worst card in the matchup. And Howling Memory Boost could have been kept, but it felt like the Tommy, you know. I am not going for freeze you. I am going to still being aggressive to just win before you kill me. Aqua Viper is great because you take your sourceless Digimon to your hand and you bounce to level 4 or lower. Supreme Cannon is insane because when he's gathering the Digimons on the table, you can just bounce all of them. A second copy of Kendo is always good to have, and it's another hybrid. So against slow matchups like yellow hybrid is another win condition. Azulogmon is the king. In fact, I won the finals with him. That's so good to have. And the only card I sided was against Yellow Hybrid, one copy of Susanamon just in case I needed more aggression. The rest of the side deck was never used. I had one Metal Garurumon against the Ancient, Green Digimons, against Purple, against Cherubimon. It felt okay, like an okay card. One Hexblow. Actually, I just sided Hexblowmon because it is a side deck card. You read this card and you say, ha, maybe this could go in a side deck. Beowulfmon was supposed to be a good card against green. And in fact, I couldn't even play against green. Well, I had one round against green, but I just didn't draw Beowulfmon. And double Rattlestar because it felt okay if my opponent was playing a deck like Jesmon, where he was populating the board. But as I told you, I had lots of blue mirror matches, so I only sided these 4 cards, and this one, these 2 against yellow, and that's it. That's that's the deck profile. Now let's talk a little about my rounds and explain a little of the tournament. Well, it was fun because, well, I wasn't expecting so many mirror matches, but first 3 rounds of Swiss were Gabumon, Bond of Friendship with Blue Hybrids, and I went 2-0 the first 2 rounds and 0-2 the next one because I completely break. After doing my mulligans, I had like 3 or 4 Hammer Sparks in hand and no Digimons, and that was really hard. I couldn't even play. Fourth match was against Yellow Hybrid without Gabumon. Here I could go 2-0. It was Danny Huang, which also made the top cut. He played quite well. Next was against a Spanish comrade, which is Tamers. I salute him from here. He was playing Yellow Hybrid, but I went 2-0 against him because he couldn't just heal enough in the first game. And in the second, I went to the Azulogmon play, and he couldn't take Azulogmon out of the board quickly. And the last round of Swiss was a draw against my own invention, was my friend Joseba, with Green Hybrids. This was a draw because that matchup is played very carefully, and Argomon stalls a lot of time. I also stall a lot of time because I have all the freezing effects, and that's it. It's a really hard matchup for both players. If I don't rush him aggressively in the early game, I cannot win because then he will create a pseudo lock with Argomon and Ancient Troimon, and I just cannot overcome from that board. So we ended in a draw, and then in the top cut I basically had 3 blue mirror matches, and they were really hard to win. But in the end, in the final, my opponent committed a misplay with Bokomon, which is again the worst card ever printed for blue hybrids. And then I was really lucky and I won the event. I went 3-0 in the top 8 and I won the Liliths. And I'm actually quite happy because last time I had a really good deck the last Digi-Fest I played, but I just had my nemesis in the top cut. But well, that's everything. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like my content, and give your feedback in the comment section below. Take care and goodbye.